Hello, I'm Eugene Kane, Metro columnist for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. I'm here talking with Arno Michaels. He's the founder of a local website and group called lifeafterhate.org. He's also a former skinhead in Milwaukee 20 years ago. And with the coming of a neo-Nazi rally in West Allis this weekend, I wanted to talk to someone to get a sense of what the mentality of these folks who are part of a white supremacist movement. You were part of one for years, weren't you?
Yeah, from the late 80s till the early 90s. I was leader of a local skinhead group that later developed national ties. I was also lead singer in a white power band called Centurion that's still, unfortunately, very popular with racists today.
You were a young man at the time. What got you involved into a white supremacist movement?
The initial attraction to me was sheer shock value. Once I started adopting that mindset, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. As I put violence and hatred out into the world gave it back to me, which made me more violent and hateful, and it became a vicious cycle.
And you were basically a skinhead, someone who was aggressive, who got into fights, and basically you spoke badly of blacks, minorities, gay people, probably even beat some up, did you?
There was a lot of violence involved. I'm very ashamed to say I've hurt innocent people who, for no other reason than the color of their skin or their sexuality. That's a part of the impetus that drives me to do the best I can to promote the idea of peace and compassion amongst all human beings today.
You're a changed man today. What made you change and leave that kind of mentality?
Initially, it was the sheer exhaustion of trying to deny all the information around me that indicated people were human beings, regardless of their skin color, religion, sexuality. When I became a single father, when my daughter was 2 years old, I reflected on the murder of friends of mine in street fights and the incarceration of other friends, and it dawned on me that death or prison was likely going to take me from my daughter if I didn't change my direction at that point.
I think a lot of people in Milwaukee are interested because there's this neo-Nazi rally scheduled for West Allis this weekend, and they would like to know, who are these people who call themselves white supremacists? You were one. Could you explain to readers and viewers of this video, what is the mentality of these people? Why do they belong to that group?
One of the requirements to adopt and maintain a racist ideology or any other sort of violent, hateful ideology is limiting the information that you intake. So the people of the National Socialist Movement, just as we did 20 years ago, likely limit their inbound information to sources that agree with their viewpoint. Anything that flies in the face of what they're trying to promote, they just deny outright. So when you fix your mind on a certain ideology and you're desperately attached to that ideology, anything from the outside world that's contrary to it seems to be a threat to you, because you have now created an identity out of this ideology. Rather than identifying yourself as a human being, you identify yourself as a white person, and everyone else seems to be a threat to you.
Sure.
Therefore, after the mob violence at Mayfair Mall, at River West, at Caddish Park, at State Fair, again, they saw that as a general assault on white people, and what they're trying to do Saturday is capitalize on the sense of fear and the sense of division that, and they want to promote the message that white people should be scared of everyone else.
So as a former white supremacist, what would you say good-natured or people of goodwill should do in response to what's being planned as a rally on Saturday in West Allis? Do you think people should show up and protest against the neo-Nazis?
My original idea, and what I think an ideal scenario would be to have a peace rally elsewhere in the city, far removed from West Allis, leave the Nazis shouting into thin air, with as little people as possible paying attention to them, because that's what they're looking for, is as much attention as they can get. There's been many people in the community who feel strongly that it's best to confront them face to face, and I respect their passion. They all have a very genuine intention of peace. And I would say to those people and to everyone else coming out to West Allis on Saturday, it is of vital importance to be there with compassion for people who are being discriminated against, compassion for the black people of Milwaukee who must live under this yoke of segregation, and compassion for the people who got attacked at State Fair, and not to be there with anger towards the Nazis, because that's really what they're looking to provoke.
Okay, well, thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate your message.
Thank you very much, Eugene. I'm a big fan of your column.